Hey everyone, Optimus Wilbur here, and this video is not suitable for children under the age of 13. This is aimed at young collectors and adult collectors. Let's start the video. Welcome everyone back to another Optimus Wilbur Reviews, and if you want to make Baby Grimlock happy, why not hit the subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, share it amongst your Transformer friends. This helps the channel out so much. And if you want to help the channel out further, please check out everything in the description box, including the app Dive. That's a live streaming app where we will be doing a lot of toy hacksing in the next couple of weeks. I have got a lot on its way. Now, this is the big one. This is the big one I've been waiting on, and I've actually had it for a week. I actually pondered over Scorponok for a week. How did I really feel about it? And it is worth it. It is totally worth it. There's only minor complaints. With the figure, there's not really a lot bad I can say, considering when I had the G1 version, it was missing a lot of parts when I was young. It was really missing a lot of parts. So it's going to be a bit different how I'm going to do this review, of course. It's a Titan, and the Titans are known for being big, and the review area I've got is not the biggest. So let's try a little bit things that are different. The detail in Scorpion mode is probably my favourite. I actually love how everything looks, and it does take me back to the Generation 1 feel of Scorponok. Now, when I had him, he was missing the head and all the accessories, and it was just mostly the body, but everything on the Titan looks incredible. Toy hacks would probably do something which I'm going to love, and that I can't wait for. But this guy is solid, he's really heavy. I mean, just look at the size of those clampers. Everything looks incredible. Now with the turrets, you can put them up there or on his arms. I like them up there, like with the Stinger. You get a blast effect, very similar to the ones you get in Jetfire, and that gives you a rough idea where everything goes. I'm trying to keep hidden what's at the side, because that's a lot of the toy hacks that's coming. So, that's how he looks. My only one gripe is I was kind of hoping if he moved, now I'm not going to try and make him move here because this table is absolutely terrible, that the legs here went up and down like that if the Scorpion was moving. Alas, it doesn't do that. But the size, look at the size of that, is incredible. Now let's get a few size comparisons. First, we'll bring in, coming up soon, toy hacks Orion packs. Put him in there. That gives you a rough idea of the size. And because I really can't fit another Titan, which I really wanted to for the sake of this video, I'm going to try something a bit different. And we're using Cloud as size comparison. You can clearly see that's how big Scorponok is. So that gives you a rough idea of the size of Scorponok. He is very big. Considering Cloud is nearly a year, she is quite a thin cat. She's lean. That's the best way to describe her, because she's crazy. But that gives you a rough idea. This thing is gigantic. Now there is a few more things you can do, and it regards this bit. You can lift this part up and you can put headmasters in, and it's kind of like a command center, but there's really nothing else you can do. But let's get him transformed. We'll get him into base mode, and we'll look at Zarak and we'll compare him to Cerebros. Base mode for Scorponok's fine. I kind of wish it was a bit more, but you can see what they're going with, where it joins on to the likes of the other Transformers that are out in Earthrise, and some of the ones that are out in Siege that can clip onto the parts here. Unfortunately, the ones I've got, they're all put aside just now, and even if I wanted to try it, the way they're going to sit on this is not going to look good at all. So I didn't really want to put them on, but you can do it. But the level of detail is fantastic in base mode. It is mostly for the headmasters, the same with like Cybertronic, Fortress, and even Metroplex to an extent. Now, transforming into base mode for Scorpion mode is extremely easy. This Titan was probably the first Titan I've done without using instructions or looking up a video. If you remember the Generation 1 version, it is incredibly close to how they did it. It is fascinating how they managed to get this big guy to just hit all the right notes with transformation, the look. But that's the big guy. Zarak, however, there's a few things we will have to go over with him. Zarak, I feel, a bit lacking in detail. My headmaster, I don't know if anybody else's is the same, is a bit wobbly, but it's okay. But detail-wise in the chest, I wish it was quite more flushed out, a little bit more to it. I can imagine Toy Hacks are going to do something with that. But if you're going to look at size comparison, there's really only one Transformer you can put next to him, and that is, of course, Cerebro. So let's get him behind him. You can clearly see he's got different labels. He will make an appearance. So that gives you a rough idea of what I've been up to. And yeah, the height difference is quite noticeable with Zarak, just in the front, Cerebros in the back. Zarak is actually quite smaller. But it doesn't just stop there. Headmaster is normal. We'll flip it round and there we go. And the detail in him is quite meh, like I said. Now, he can do that with the legs, and the arms can go up and down. You've got a nice elbow joint, and the wrist can go in here. The way it's all transformation set up, it works. But when you turn it round to the face, this visor I just hate. Now, I'm hoping when Toy Hacks do something, they're going to do something with the eyes here and the eyes here and put something going across the visor to give it more detail. I just hit the camera. But if you lift this up a fraction, you can see that we've got eyes under here. And the detail in the face is really good for Scorponok. I will give it that. The detail I cannot fault when it looks as good. And zooming in, as you can see, the two headmasters standing next to each other. Of course, Cerebros or Spike, depending on the continuity you prefer. I prefer the Japanese version. But I'll get more into that near the end of the video. They're good heights. Of course, my one's got a little bit more detail because it will be making a Toy Hacks appearance. I'm waiting on the decals to finish Maximus off. But I'm happy with that. Both are kind of the exact same, with the head's a bit wobbly. It's not just Zarak for me. I don't know if everybody else has got the exact same one, in the sense when it's on, it's quite loose fitting. But it's not fell off. And Fortress I've had since the first series came out, and he's been fine. So I'm not overly worried about it. But if you haven't got any of the Titan Headmasters and it's your first time having one, and you feel it's just a bit wobbly, don't worry. It will stay in place when it's on the Titan. Now, let's get them into head modes, and we'll compare the details of both heads. As you can see with the heads, Fortress, again, is bigger, but you can see what I mean with the eyes. With Metroplex and, of course, Fortress, the eyes are dark red, but they light up, they've got the electronics. And with the likes of the last couple of issues of the Titans, likes of Omega Supreme, Triptychon, we've now been getting upgrade kits where you can make certain parts of those bots light up, especially in Omega Supreme with the eyes and Triptychon with the mouth. Again, I will show that later. But Scorp really doesn't have any of that, and that's why I'm kind of hoping with Toy Hacks we're going to get something along that visor just to make it shine. That is my only big complaint about the figure. I hate the visor. I really do hate the visor. I think, being honest, I've got so used to the other bots doing something extra, especially with the eyes in the Titan class, that in my mind when this was announced and when we were waiting all the time for this figure, we knew this Titan was going to appear eventually. It had to do something. Maximus and Grand Maximus, even the Japanese version, done an incredible voice work for it, and even playing the Headmaster's theme, and that's the version I've always wanted. In Metroplex, saying these things, the eyes light up, usual, but then they just stopped. Of course I can understand cost efficiency and things like that, but it's just one little thing with a Titan class I think they need to bring back. I really do. Apart from that, the head sculpt's fine. The level of detail's fine. And I think it's a great comparison having both heads next to each other. So now let's get Scorponok into robot mode and we'll get another size comparison. And here is Scorponok transform, and he takes up nearly the size of my review, but he's big. He is like nearly Fortress Maximus big. But the level of detail is incredible for this bot. He genuinely does look like he's just jumped from the cartoon and just gives me everything I remembered about the original toy back. It was missing parts, but I remember it standing up like this and just looking with the colours, the scorpion turning into a robot, incredible. My only issue, and I think Input said the same, I wish the holes in the front were filled. That I can get round. It's just a little nitpick, very little nitpick, but everything else looks incredible for Scorponok. Posability, I really wish I could do this, but the way I've got the camera set up recording this and the distance for me and him is not the greatest. You can move the arms all the way around and they're on that elbow hinge because of transformation. The legs are the exact same. Because of transformation, they've been designed so you can put him in certain poses. It is a heavy dude, so just be prepared how you're posing him and how he's going to stand, stuff like that. But by now with the Titans, we all know they're very limited to how they're going to pose and stuff, but it doesn't hurt to try, and at least we know. Overall, the Titan is incredible, absolutely incredible. He was worth the wait getting him, and the plastic is one thing I've always complained on the Earthrise models. This, I can gladly say, doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel like it's going to break on me, and he's very heavy. Compared to some of the earliest Earthrise bots where I genuinely thought with that new plastic, this is going to break in my hand when I'm transforming. Scorponok doesn't feel it. Zarak, however, being a legend size, if you can call it that, he feels that way with that plastic. So that's something, it's not really been spoke about, but that's not to say it's going to hold. I've noticed more and more with the new Earthrise figures coming out, the plastic's actually been a bit better. Maybe it was just the first two I got, but the head does feel a lot different compared to the main body of Scorponok. So that's just something just to look out for. I genuinely think everybody's is going to be fine, but mine's has been perfect. But when you're going to do a size comparison, there's really only one bot again you can bring in, and this is where I'll talk about my favourite Scorponok version. And any clue from that music animation, of course it's a Japanese version. The G1 version for the Western side, I wasn't a fan of. It was, in my opinion, a gimmick. And the Marvel side in the comic books, I never read. And I know a lot of people love that version of Scorponok, that Commander. Again, I've never read the comics, so I can't comment on what one I feel better. But when it comes to the Takara Headmaster series, those two guys duking it out is just incredible. And the fact that they weren't really overused, they built up the episodes, and then when they had to transform and fight, they did it. Of course, later on, the two of them would be repainted. You've got Black Zarak and, of course, Grand Maximus in Super God Force. I'm kind of hoping they do a repaint, and it'd be interesting to see what they're going to do. I missed out on Grand Maximus. I really do wish I managed to grab that bot at the time, but with limited budget, I'm happy I did manage to get the San Diego Comic-Con version with, of course, the Master Sword. Fortress Maximus will be back. And yes, he is holding a Metroplex pistol because you didn't get the cannon with him. But overall, I am over the moon that the original Titans, and I'm excluding Omega from this, but when you think of the original Titans, they're done. They have to do something new now, and that's going to be the interesting side with Kingdom. As much as I'm not overly fussed with that, I'd rather see more Japanese continuity, but I understand why Beast Wars has a big following and stuff. So there's only one more picture I have to get with these two. And there you go, folks. I had to get all four Titans in the last shot. Triptychon, Metroplex and Fortress Maximus will make a return very soon. Two are getting toy hacks, and if you can guess with the flashing lights, one's been upgraded. But this has been a dream come true. I've got 3 of the original Titans still in boxes. I need Scorponok to finish the Generation 1 style. But having them like this as a collector and an adult has been like a kid waking up on Christmas again. Seeing these 4 guys standing here, to me, has just blown me away. Just as this final shot and this video comes to an end. Up next, we're going into Toy Hacks territory. We have got a lot to cover. So I'll see you next time on the next Optimus Wilbur review. Thank you for everyone to tune in today's video. If you want to make Baby Grimlock happy, why not hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. All new videos are always coming right here in Optimus Wilbur reviews. If you'd like to follow me in any of my social media links, all the descriptions are in the description box below. And of course, as always, I cannot stress this enough, I wish to thank Cybertronic Spree for allowing me to use their song Cybertronic Warrior as the theme of this channel. Guys, this is an incredible band that does incredible covers, and recently just done an amazing album of the Transformers 1986 movie soundtrack. Please follow them and all their social media links. I have every description in the description box below. Please check them out, and as always, Transformer fans, till all are one.